Hello and welcome to our stories, our minds. This is a show courtesy of ICAS Kenya and Total Wellness International. Here we get to hear real life stories on issues mental health. We also get to hear mental health stories from people who have been there and have overcome. We will also get expert guidance on topics related to the same. Today our topic is about addiction and substance use and abuse. We have a special guest here who will share with us his journey throughout the whole process and what he has consumed and how he overcame. Welcome to the show.
Okay, thank you so much.
Kindly to introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Philip Ndongo, and I'm a happily recovering heroin addict. Yeah, so I was born in 1996, 1st November, in Nairobi, MP Shaw Hospital. I schooled in Nairobi, a school in Holy Family Basilica. It's called Catholic Parochial Primary School, though I didn't finish. So when I was born, I didn't find my dad. So I used to keep on asking my mom, where did my dad go to, or questions like that. And then he said that he left, sometimes that he died, and stories like that. But I came now later to understand. But I had a sit down with her. So I did primary up till class 4, and then my mom passed away. So since class 4, my auntie took in, she took us in. I have a small brother who is in campus right now, and I'm really grateful for that. And from then on, I went to an academy where my auntie schooled us. I finished, I passed, then I got into Starehe Boys Center and School. I did the 4 years. I had a nice time there. I made friends, I met new people, and it was good. Can't complain. After that, then I joined campus. After joining campus in JKUAT, Juja, in 2015, because I finished high school in 2014. 2015, I joined my first year in JKUAT, majoring in computer science. So I did my first year, though that's when I first encountered drugs and alcohol. I first started with alcohol, and it was a really ile tu mnaenda place na wase. It wasn't even my brothers, okay, my cousins, so I call brothers because I was adopted by my auntie. So it was my first time drinking. I went up mixing everything, like whiskey and wine. It wasn't that fun. And every time I was drinking, I was saying that I'll never drink again. But I found myself drinking uncontrollably, like a way of an extent, like siwachi. There's no stop to that drinking. So after drinking in campus, then I met some few friends. I'd never smoked weed before, but now they introduced me to weed. I remember this guy had an apartment, but it wasn't even furnished. So it was like, it had tables and pillows, one mattress, but one of the tables had like weed, a lot of weed, where you had to, I was like asking him, do you live here? He's saying no, but you can see even the security man knows him, and everyone knows him. So, but he had the family, his own family was still staying in Juja, but he had another place in that same Juja where the apartment was. So that's why I used to smoke weed every time after class, after lectures. Even it became a habit that even before exams, I had to first take weed. Or if weed wasn't available, I had to take alcohol. Ndio hiyo yenye wanasemanga kutoa lock and everything. So it continued for like the first year, first semester, second semester. I had no problems with my exams or anything. But along the line during second year, ndio vitu zikaanza kwenda vibaya. So second year, still I'd kept the habit, but now the intake started increasing. So like in first year ukachukua just quarters. Saizi early in the morning unamkia mzinga, unaona. Also some cigarettes. I'd also started smoking cigarettes just to get the high. Yeah.
Okay.
And also so kutoka hapo I'd start to miss exams. So nikimiss exam there was an option of doing supplementary exams. So you had to pay like 800 shillings so that you can compensate. After that, this same friend came and showed me that there was this one time we went in Juja, nipeleka kama chuom, kutokezo chuom akanionyesha weed, the same weed that we used to smoke, but now he put some powder in it, and now it was laced. So after smoking it, I really felt high. It was laced. But now when I'm asking him what he had put in the weed, what he had laced it with, hasemi, he's not saying. He's giving me the street names like Kete, DB, Kichuri, Usinionje, but the English name he'd never told me. So after 2 months of smoking, and you know heroin is highly addictive. So within 2 weeks of using it, I had become addicted to the stuff. And every time ningeikosa, I had withdrawal symptoms. But the first time the withdrawal symptoms weren't that bad because I hadn't used much of it. So every time the withdrawal symptoms are like yawning, like you feel cold and shivering, even when there is sun, you just feel bored. You feel not like you're not there. Yeah. So I used it after some time. I was in a very bad company because the company that I used to keep in class, sasa tumeachana. Now I'm like in the drug section where you meet junkies. Now unajulikana hadi na watu like chokoras, unaona. So it went on with the habit. Now 3 months into it, and someone came and told me that it was heroin. Yeah, I know. I wasn't even surprised because I'd already gotten into it, deeply into it. And now I was in it and I was smoking it daily. And now I wasn't mixing alcohol and heroin again. Yeah, because when I used to mix, I'm puking and stuff like that. So it was in 2017, I quit drinking. But now I got into smoking cigarettes, smoking heroin, and also weed, but mostly it was heroin. And the prices of heroin were so high, it was sold in sachets, you know, like one sachet is 150 shillings. And the more you take, the more the expense. So you find like in a day you're using like 1,000 shillings each day. In a week you're using like 7,000 shillings. The money came from the part-time jobs that I had, and also the allowances my aunt and uncle used to give me. She didn't stay with us. I used to stay with my cousins. So in the process, when you just needed anything, you used to call her. She used to come at home during the weekends. So you never really had time to talk or anything. So just as long as you were okay, she never minded, because she's usually busy with work. So that's where I used to get the money. And also from the part-time jobs that I had, like repairing laptop screens, flashing phones, because I majored in computer science. And I came to a point that I can't, like I'm getting to know these junkies now. I'm not even going to class again. I'm only showing up to class when there's a cut or an exam. I tell my friends, the ones that I used to know in class, to sign for me my attendance class list. So that I used to get away these attendance class sheets, and they used to sign up for me. So that when exam time comes, I just show up. Na kuna yule time pia they say the formation kind. So hata ukiingia exam, you just go and steal. So ikiendelea second year, first semester, gladly nilifanya. I didn't have any mishaps or any supplementaries. second semester nikaingia. This time hata I used to take the heroine from Juja, from a plug there. I used to know him, but now my friend told me that there's a place to Kianda, you'll get it at a cheaper price, not that 150. Because now, using, if I had 500 shillings or that 1,000 shillings, with 150 I can only get like 5. And he told me that 1,000 shillings, you can like get 10 sachets of it in a different place. So nikamuuliza, where is this place? It's a place called Nigeria. Actually it's in Mathare, but the junkies call it Nigeria. So one Friday we decided, let's go tuende huko, place it's called Nigeria. Tukaenda, and he told me that you need to wear like, usivae like umeng'ara or anything, like you are dressed to kill. Hapana, you just dress like those junkies. So hiyo day nakumkata nilivaa slippers nini. Matatu hata sikuwa na ilikuwa imefika point the matatu I wasn't even paying. Yani those people walikuwa wamenijua hapo stage ya Juja. So anytime those friends, because we used to even to smoke with them, wananiona tu wanasema, you just get in. Tunajua na utarudisha mkono baadaye. So Mathare tumeenda. I think I was unafaa kuonyesha that you're not frightened by the sight, because they'll just know you're not from there. And once they know you're not from there, from that place, they'll even kill you or rob you and do things. So my friend told me just to stay cool, because he was known from that place. So after some time tumeenda huko Mathare. He told me not to even talk to anyone. I just tell it that nyamaze, he'll do the dealings. So I gave him the money. I remember I had 2,000 that Friday. I gave him the 2,000 shillings, and he told me that I leave the rest to him. So went to this guy. His name was called Msaja. Those street names too. This guy is dressed like a drug lord. He has chains and everything. And he told my friend to sit down and we wait. So my friend talked to him, and he got like 20 sachets. He bought the weed, because we never used to inject ourselves, because also heroin could be injected or sniffed. So he bought the weed, also the cigarettes he bought, because the way heroin is smoked, you lace it in the weed. You can either roll the weed before it's rolled by the guy who is selling to you, and then ukiwasha, you do not light it with a matchbox. The way people light cigarettes with a matchstick or anything. So ilikuwa a point where the heroin, you've laced it and everything, so you light it with a cigarette. The fire from the end of the cigarette that it's burning, you light the weed with it. So hiyo ndio ilikuwa process ya kuiundwa, like a whole 2 minutes process. Yani tu getting it ready and everything. So ikakuwa point, I even felt the stuff was high, like it was, compared to the one that I used to smoke in Juja, it was a very different thing. And when you go to Mathare, you meet people from different walks. You meet, they even Congos. Not everyone is Kenyan over there, Somalis, but they are junkies too. You listen to their stories, they say that wamehepa, they're only here for some time. Or wengine wako in robbery and stealing. People with who have guns. So, but you act like you're not afraid. You act like you belong. So it became a fashion that now every day I'm going to Mathare. I'm going to Mathare to get the stuff and coming back home. Ikaendelea hivyo. There was a crackdown in Mathare back in 2018 where the cops came. They killed a lot of people. And I think if it's not by the grace of God that I'm alive, I don't think I will be here. Because that time kutoka tu hivi Mathare, the cops waliingia. They were saying they were looking for someone who had committed some murder crime, and everyone was a partner in crime in Mathare. So that was the time they cleared Mathare and everything. So now getting the stuff was really hard, because cops are all over and things like that. Now it's going back to Juja. Juja ukienda, there is no, because stuff from Juja used to come from Mathare. So 2 weeks tukachapa cold turkey. We didn't do, like, we were just smoking weed, but hatukuwa tuna feel that high, the high that heroin used to give us. So tulikuwa nafika point hadi tulikuwa tunasema tunaenda coast in Mombasa to get that weed. And mind you, all this we are doing, my auntie doesn't know, because she came to know after 3 years I had used heroin. And that's when I opened up to her. So in the process, nikacha these part-time jobs at sasa siendi. I'm not doing them. One of them was online jobs that I had enrolled, walikuwa wananilipa. Another one was the one that I had said, repairing laptops and phones, flashing them, and stuffs like that. So I'd even sina uwezo. Siwezi hata, I can't show up kabla sijatokea. Like you're supposed to be there at 8 or 9, but huwezi, because you haven't smoked. The reason why you haven't smoked, the stuff isn't there. So one thing leads to another, and leads to reasons and circumstances. Ikiendelea after some time, so the only source of income that I used to get was from my aunties and uncles, or even my cousins. Yeah. Ikafika point, I remember even in 2018, now I'm becoming distant with family. Like hawanioni kwa nyumba. Wanaona, they see like I get up so early. Like I'm someone who's going to work. Before I'm out of the house. And I come late at night at 11. And every day is the same routine. I don't eat. If it's eating, it's taking like a meal a day. Period. Hata kukuwa na mambo mingi. After that, even showering became a problem. I would go weeks without showering. And I wouldn't even mind. Madeni nazo, I had so many debts. I will just come manipulate you and say that someone of mine is sick, and then you give me the money. I'll tell you that I pay you back. That day reaches, I'm dead, because I've even sold my phone. The only thing that I have is my SIM card. So I used to go around, borrow people's phones, enter my SIM card, call, chat to mom. I don't even say thank you. I go back offline. Kiendelea hivyo with family, ilifika point that sielewani with my cousins. You know, juu sasa wananiuliza, where do you go to? I don't tell them. What do you do? Do you even go to class? Then they think that I still go to class. But the truth is, I'm not even going to class. So, ikaleta shida. I even ran away. I ran away for like 1 month. Because niliona, I can't stand the shouts from these guys. I ran away. I went to a friend of mine. Because ndio sana nilikuwa nakaa. So even my auntie was told that I had run away. So she didn't even used to give me money. Or even my uncle. So sasa nikujitafuti. They had told me to come home. And every time they used to send me fare to go back home, I use the fare on drugs. And I don't even go home. And I was seeing like I'm becoming a burden to this other friend of mine. I'm staying at his place. I'm eating there. His parents don't mind. And I'm just there. So I had to go and start hustling. Nikaenda, I started joining these people of conductors. Conductors now pia mimi nawasaidia kujaza matatu and everything. Wakija, like matatu ikija, wananipe like 30 bob, 50 shillings, 100 shillings. Nikishapata hiyo 100 shillings, I either buy a cigarette or I go and buy the heroin. I look for another person who used to smoke. Then tunachangia hiyo pesa, we go and buy the heroin and smoke. Kishaisha hivi, because one is never enough, I go again back and hustle. Hiyo pesa, that money, I don't even think about eating. All of it end up to drugs. And heroin is a very expensive affair. Yeah. After some time, I decided to go back home. Went home, I talked to my auntie, but I didn't tell her what I was using. She asked me, kwa nini you're emaciated? I tell her that, I tell her that it's exercise or anything. Because I knew if I told her, things won't go that well. So, najificha tu. I'm hiding. No, every time I go into that house, I'm wearing a mask. You know, wakiniuliza, are you not eating? Kulia, I eat outside. I've already eaten or anything. So, sikuwa nataka kusumbuliwa na maswali at all. There's a time even walikuwa wananifichia sasa, they used to hide the keys to the house sasa. They get to the house, they lock. So siwezi toka. But once nikiona it's open, I used to jump the wall. Very early in the morning. Na nahepa. Yani ili nipate that high. Ndio vitu ziendelee. Now withdrawals, when they hit me, because zinakam in a very bad way than the first time nilikuwa nimetumia, because I also was running nose. I feel depressed. I also had suicidal ideations because I remember this one time I'd come home and they're not giving me money, and I'm really looking for even something to sell from home, because I remember I'd sold my phone, I'd even sold my laptop, and they didn't know. They didn't know I'd sold my laptop. So I sold my phone, I sold it and everything. I was even selling my clothes so that I could get that money and go use. So I remember that day they didn't give me money. So I was in my room. I've sat down, I've thought about it. I've even written a letter, now addressing it to God, that why is this happening? First I was blaming God why he took my mother away, like just like that. And I'm asking him, why is all this happening to me? Why can't he just let me die, rather than suffering in this earth? You know, it was I remember it was a whole full scarf I had written, saying that I don't want this life anymore. And that day again, I ran away to my friend's house. Now this guy, I said I wasn't going to come back again to that house. So now it's struggling. I remember a time, now I've ran away. I met another friend, he told me, come we do work. So in a car wash, I wash cars. Now even story with university, nimeacha. It's not in my head again. So I wash a car, I get 200 shillings. At least per day I get like 600 shillings. Because some of the money goes to the guy who had organized me with the garage and everything. But I didn't even last for long. I didn't even, like for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I didn't even show up again because I couldn't manage it until I smoke. And it was using up my time, because when you smoke heroin, you get 5 hours of high, depending on the intake. So sometimes I never used to check in back at work. Nikaendelea hivyo, nikatoka huko. I remember, and then kasaidia helping another guy cooking chapos. I remember I even stole his phone and sold it. But I came and made amends with him. I told him that what I did was wrong. And I also did restitution for the phone and everything. So we sorted that. But that was later when I came to recovery. So it really came to a toll on me. But this time round I'm not thinking. Like anything goes. Like I get something I sell, whether it's stealing or anything. So it came to a point that I remember this one time that I borrowed someone a phone to call one of my cousins, because that day kumekauka, whole day I didn't smoke. I'm hustling for money from one of my cousins, those who I don't live with. She told me that she didn't have money at that time. So I wait for tomorrow, and I told her it's okay. But this guy who had given me the phone had gone. I waited for him for like 1 hour. He didn't show up. So what I told myself, let me go sell this phone. Actually, the original idea was to hang it at some Shylock's place. Going there, hanging it, the Shylock told me, just sell me this phone. A phone of 9,000 shillings. I sold it for 500 shillings, just to get the high. At that point, I got the 500 shillings. I went and bought the stuff as usual. But even after smoking it, it didn't return me to the initial high that I used to feel. So I went back home and I told myself that now since I've sold this guy's phone, I'm not going back to Juja. It didn't even last a week. I went back to Juja again. But this time around when I went to Juja, the money that I had got, I'd sold some screwdriver set from our home, things from the garage. I sold them all so that I had like 1,000 shillings. Now I came to Juja. As usual, I didn't used to pay for matatus. I didn't used to pay for fares because those people know me from Thika to Juja because we used to stay in Thika. That day I sent someone to go and get me because I knew if this guy caught me, the guy who gave me his phone and I sold it, it would be really bad news. So after looking for a guy to go and send, I sent the guy with the 1,000 shillings. I told him, like, you can take 200 shillings because of facilitation. You give me the rest. I waited for him and I waited for him. He's not showing up. This guy had gone to set me up to this other guy that had sold his phone. After seeing him like this, now it's running away. I ran and ran. A guy is chasing after me until he caught up to me. Then he took me to the stage. You know, those people, everyone knows each other. And those people were like, these people are mchanga when you talk mchanga kwa lori. I don't know whether you know them. So wakanikalisha chini. They're asking me, they're probing me, where's that phone you sold? I'm telling them that phone is sold, but I can organize money, you buy another phone. But the guys don't want to hear that. They say they want the original phone. So it became a fracas. A crowd started gathering around. The crowd is saying that hata mkimalizia mtuachie tumuwe because that's stealing and I'd become a thief. So the crowd is gathering and everything. Wameanza sasa. They are even taking stones but luckily, of course, mangumi like 3, I was punched and slaps. But luckily, the police came. I don't even know who called them. And the crowd started dispersing. So when the police came, they took me and the owner of the phone. Because the police told me that they were going to Kenyatta Road to get some people who were drinking illegally at some weird times during the day. But no, they came to catch up with me. So it was by God's grace again. And nilikuwa nafurahi sana nimeshikwa na the police than the crowd because I knew it was the end of me. At that time, kavalishwa pingu. I was handcuffed, kapelekwa to the police station. So at the police station in Juja, when you enter, you're being told, remove one shoe. I'm like, hey, wait, it wasn't the first time that I was even entering the police station. Police station, I've been caught very many times, even because of, I didn't even have mistakes some of the times, yani nashikwa too. Because those policemen knew me that I was a drug addict. You know, they're even telling me to sell others out. They pay me, I sell other people out. But I was like, no, I don't even know those people. So that day, I remember I removed one shoe out. I remember the police officer saying that kutoka ni ngumu sana. Like getting out, it's going to be hard. So because it's a very big case. It's a case of stealing and everything. So I waited. People, because they had also caught other people who were drinking disorderly. They paid bribes, they were talking, so that they could get out. But this time round, I was told that you chill first before ulipe. So we went for restitution of the phone. We had sold the phone. I'm like, we can't get that phone because I had already sold it. So into that guy, this time the cops were dressed in plain clothes and I was even not in cuffs. So they told me, let's go to the place that you sold the phone, in the shop. At the shop area, I'm telling this guy, ile phone ilikuzia iko wapi? The phone that had sold to you, where is it? He's saying that I already sold it. I'm telling me it's a serious case, you need to give me the phone. The guy said, I already sold it, it's not even here. The police now came and now started probing him. They searched his shop, they found the phone. Another guy was even caught. Sasa si wote wawili back to the cells. I remember it was a Friday and court it's on Monday. So we've stayed in the cells to my car. I even remember seeing some few people that I knew, like some Rasta guys that were there and everything. I'm asking them, kwani umeshikwa? They were saying that they had been accused of stealing 15 cows and when they were on top of motorcycles. I'm like, that doesn't even add up. But everyone alikuwa tu na kesi zake. So the Friday I slept in the cells. Now on Saturday, the guy whom had sold the phone to was given a phone to call first. So he organizes some money, he gets out. He luckily succeed and he got out. Now one police officer came and said to me that the guy that whom you sold the phone is now out. And when he goes to court, it's going to now, because he was the handler, now he's turned to be a witness. Now he's a witness now. Now the case is all on me. So on Saturday, I tried calling my cousins. They were like, we don't want to hear. Saturday in Kalala tena. Now on Sunday, my auntie came to see me. Remember, she came with food and everything. She told me what is going on. I'm still not saying what is going on. So they talked to the CD police officers who are there. They really talked for like 2 hours. And then I came out. I remember wakinirudishia kiatu yangu moja, one of my shoes. And the CD told me that I have a problem because he doesn't understand how I'm in university. I have like, not everything, but I'm at least. And I'm still engaging in drug activities with junkies and the company that I had in. And so that is when I opened up to my mom and I told her that I'm using heroin. I've been using it for 3 years. Okay, I call her mom sometimes because she's been with me. So she really cried and she asked me what I really wanted. So it came to thought that we check into a rehab. It was in 2019. Now we check into a rehab. We just go for counseling. I remember they told me that I go for counseling for just that night and we do detox because of the withdrawals. When I was in the cells, I didn't have anything. I just used to, somehow cigarettes used to get into the police cells. You organize with those crooked cops. They get you for 200 shillings, you get like 3 cigarettes. Imagine, and that's very expensive. Anything goes, like I said. So after checking into a rehab, I remember I didn't even go back home. I just went direct to, it's a place called Blessed Talbot Medical Center. It's in Kiambu. I checked in, I met Dr. Mwangi. After checking in, and he told me that I had a problem. But I didn't know. I didn't know that it was called addiction. They were saying that it was a disease, that it's baffling and cunning. So he told me that tonight you're not going home, you'll be staying with us for just 1 week. We see, because of detoxification, I agreed. The following day, I didn't even see my auntie coming, but she had delivered the clothes. So I started doing the program for that 1 week. After 1 week, they told me, you'll be here for 3 months. I think that's when I felt like I was going to crumble. Like for 3 months, I'm going to be in rehabilitation. No drugs, just on, like for the first 2 weeks, just detox and classes. Now I'm going to start classes. We used to call them step work activities, the 12 steps and everything. But now I said it's okay. So it really took courage, because the idea of me not using heroin again, first I was like, no, it's not going to happen. After I'm out of here, I'm going to relapse, to go back to the drug. So after the first month, you know, the friends that you keep, the company that you keep now, people are saying that they really had a conviction of not using drugs again. So you also now join the group slowly by slowly, even subconsciously, you don't even know. You start seeing the 12 steps by fingers and everything. When you see another client coming in, you start helping them. Then you receive the help. You know, so after 3 months, I did my program. I was really grateful. Because in the rehab, nothing used to get in. No cigarettes, no nothing. You do it the hard way. So you keep yourself busy either way. Remember even making maths, giving me extra work so that I don't find myself idle. Because when you find yourself idle, you find yourself thinking of that stuff again. So after 3 months, I got out. I remember now 2020 when coming, it was in 2020, Corona came in. And the owner of that rehab, Dr. Mongi, told me that you can come back and work with us during this period because schools were closed, everything was closed, and he had offered that he'll be paying me. So I said, why not? Let me give it a try. So from then on till today, I still work.
So the imagination you had that life without heroin cannot work, how is it?
Yeah, I came to deal with it because I used to play the tape again and again in my mind that if I go back to using this drug, it will be really, I didn't want to be a letdown to people that had been, again, I'd really lost a lot, my course, the career, my dreams, the relationships that I had, the burnt bridges, making amends. So I was telling myself, living a day at a time, because it was overwhelming knowing that the whole of your life you're not going to use drugs. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back a bit to your childhood. You said you did not meet your father, and then at a very early age you lost your mother through death, and as a consequence you lost your home, you lost your friends. How was that, being that you're in class 4?
Okay, I didn't really understand it. I didn't go through the stages of grief as it should be, because even in the rehab, when I was in the rehab, at that time, I don't even remember myself crying. I was just told that now you're going to see your mom again, and now you're going to take you in, we're going to provide you with everything. So I was like, hey, okay, but my life is just going on. But when I was in campus, it really did affect me, because I was like, why did my mom leave me? Why did she die? You know, and I'm getting angry, and I'm also in denial. So, and also the fact that I didn't even know my father. I was still wondering, now since my mom is dead, no one is ever going to tell me the truth. But luckily my auntie came in, we had a group session, a family therapy, as they call it. We did like 3 sessions. It was me who was asking the answers. And she said that the one she could answer, she'll answer honestly. Like, of course, I started with, where was my father when all this was happening? She said that my father left my mom even before I was born. You know, and that was, I felt satisfied with the answer, because if I was told that Mara, he died, and also I used to be told when I was young, I used to feel like I was being cheated. Although I didn't, at that age, I didn't used to understand. And also they really, at that family session, it's when they told me how my mother died. It was because of acute malaria, which came to affect the kidneys. That's how she passed away. Yeah.
So you feel that probably because of the unanswered questions and the unfinished business in your childhood, it would have led you to seek comfort in alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, because I didn't grieve that well. Yeah.
And
I didn't go through the stages. I think about 5. Yeah.
The 5 stages of loss, but again, you went after that. You got into identity crisis, the adolescent period.
Yeah.
Who was your support system then?
Because at that time, my family role in a family was also assumed, because I'm now the firstborn, but now I'm in the middle now. I'm like the second last. So the family role has been assumed. I didn't know how to act. It was a new thing to me. Like even saying my problems to my auntie, it was very difficult. It wasn't the same like I used to go to my mom and tell her that this has happened and this is what was going through in my mind. And this is what that has been disturbing me. Like this is what I've learned during the day. It was very different because I used to mask when I was in that house. I used to mask like almost everything. Yeah, like I was just there. Yeah.
So the loss of your mother and the change of the environment and the change of the family circumstances put a lot of things on hold for you. And it also gave you another identity where you could not express yourself. You had to hide your feelings just to fit in. It changed the genogram, your birth order, from the firstborn to the thirdborn. And also you're going through the confusion of adolescence. So when you go to college, the freedom that it brings and the high that substance use brings, what happened with you at that time with this freedom and the high and the money?
It was a really, I've never experienced such type of freedom because no one is after you. You remember your auntie is not there, she only comes home during the weekends. So Monday till Friday you're just free. No one is there to watch your back or ask you where are you, what are you doing. If you need money, you just call, she sends you. So that's how I really got that freedom. It was too much. Though I couldn't say or anything because I was also experimenting with myself, with other people. You know, those so-called friends that I used to call friends back then. Yeah.
And so it gave you a space to vent your frustrations and the repressed feelings you've had.
Yeah.
Okay. And also alcohol and then substance abuse gave you space to also release and search for yourself. Okay. So
because I didn't used to feel free when I was in that house. I used to feel like I'm being watched or monitored every time or being cornered. But once I step out that gate and go back to using drugs, I used to feel like myself. Even also get like motivated or something. Yeah, I'm like being myself. I'm being free. Yeah.
Okay, and then you started the 12 steps later on. So as you are making amends and confessing to these acts that you've been doing unconsciously or consciously, how did that feel?
First of all, it was very hard. I didn't, because there are some things that you did that you can't just go there blindly because you don't know whether this guy will kill you, Sasa, because of saying it. You are like, I shouldn't even have said it. So I discussed the amends with my counselor. I was open with my counselor. I told her that I need like this type of amends. Should I go and say it? Will it hurt them? How will it be? Like my family, I had to make amends to them, you know, because there are people who are going to be with me. They are the ones who have been supporting me, you know. It was my case that I didn't used to open up to them. Yeah, but there are those amends like I can't go back to Juja and tell a guy that I stole your laptop because now that will bring another fracas, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
So there are those amends you even do on phone if you can't go there physically because you'll feel that your life is being at risk. Yeah.
As you were making the amends, and what was the most difficult period for you?
The difficult period, like I used to feel guilty, like because of my biological mom. Like I was there and I'm saying that my mom didn't die for this. If she were here, she'll be really disappointed, and it really hurt me. So there are those amends that even till to date, I don't know how I can really make amends to her. My counselor used to say that you can go bring her flowers to her grave or build another plaque just in her memory, just to do something. Yeah.
Do you think that can work for you?
Yeah.
Okay, have you started the process of...
To be honest, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then again, there's this thing that you said, the coping mechanism when you're young, you blocked them because of the circumstances and the structure of the new family. But right now, when you went and told them that you are changing, what has the reaction been for your significant others?
First of all, they were in denial. They didn't even understand what addiction is. They used to feel like they're being cheated. Like, this is not happening. Like, this is an excuse for everything that I've been doing. You know. So in everything, like, I used to involve my counselor in these issues so that we could sort them out. You know. So in fact, I'm really grateful because without her, I don't think my family would have understood anything. So through those group sessions, those family therapies, is when they understood the disease concept of addiction. You know. Yeah.
Okay. So now, if I was to give you a chance right now, and based on your experience, how do you encourage families, the society? How would you encourage them, one, to identify someone who's going through struggles, mental health, because physical is easily identifiable, but what goes on in the mind and the thoughts is very difficult. And as a child, as you say, you did not even know. So how do they identify so that they can support their significant others?
I'll start by saying addiction is a family disease. You know? And to identify, it's really hard to identify someone who is going through something. You know, addiction really, so that someone goes and picks up that first drink or uses that first high, smokes. It's some build-up process. It's not that one day I'll come more. Let me go and start drinking. You know. So I really encourage families to involve their children or their significant others. They ask them, how has their day been? Like, they have that time together. Because in my place, that didn't used to happen. Everyone was in their business, their jobs, and everyone is in their course of life, you know. So I really ask that people should be together. They ask others how they've been, how they are coping with life, if there was a tragic thing that had happened. Because I remember after I was taken in, I never got a chance to talk about the incident of my mom when she had died. It was really hard. So it was really hard. I was like, let me bring it up, but I'm like, no, let me not bring it up. Yeah.
Okay. Then that is to identify. And how would you want these people around you, how would you want them to support you once they have identified?
They've identified their problem.
Yeah.
To be there, to give you hope that it's not the end of life. That there is so much you are born to do big, you know, to support you in any way they can, you know, not to discriminate. Because in other situations I've seen people being discriminated, like that watu wanaambiwa hata sijui kwani ulizaliwa, you're just wasting our money, you know. And also people should be grateful, you know. Yeah, it's those small things in life that matter. Yeah.
Okay. And then now, to those who are going through the struggles, they're still struggling whether to stop, how to stop. Remember you had said this is the last one, then the next day you wake up there.
Yeah.
So how do they come out and say, okay, I have a problem?
You know, no one is superhuman. You can't handle this problem alone. You can't addiction is a totally different case. You can't just wake up and say, because I used to tell myself that every day, when it comes, I tell myself that in the morning, I won't smoke. But there I am in the shop knocking, buying cigarettes, you know. So I'll advise people to seek professional help. They go to therapies, seek counseling services, because if it has worked out for me, it can also work out for people there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your story and the 12 steps every day. You count how many days sober?
I'm 1 year, 10 months sober.
Okay, 1 year, 10 months sober,
Yeah.
and you intending to continue.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We've had the stories shared, we've had the experience shared about addiction. Substance use disorder is a disease in itself, and acceptance is the first step. Always seek someone to talk to, share your experience, just describe what you're going through. Even if they judge, it is still your story, it is still your experience. My name is Lillian. See you next time.